down if it even reaches the full house. I'm Jackie Quinn.
On Wall Street, the Dow futures are down 126 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Inflation is pushing up the cost of just about everything: food, gas, clothing. But life insurance, which thanks to inflation you need now more than ever, actually costs less today than it did a few years ago. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. Call SelectQuote now and we'll help you save more than 50% on term life insurance. In a hurry? Don't worry. With SelectQuote, you can get up to $2 million in instant, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. Get up to $2 million in instant, affordable same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call SelectQuote now at 1-800-507-2266. That's 1-800-507-2266. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-507-2266. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Russian President Putin has addressed his country's Victory Day parade on Moscow's Red Square, claiming that a real war has been unleashed against Russia, a reference to the war in Ukraine, which, of course, Putin started.
Сегодня цивилизация вновь находится на решающем.
Putin says today the civilization is once again at a decisive turning point. A real war has been unleashed against our motherland, but we have rebuffed international terrorism, and we'll protect residents of the Donbass, and we will ensure our security. Putin welcomes soldiers fighting in Ukraine who were present at the parade. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The German government has presented a proposal for a law that will make it easier for people to legally change their name and gender, ending decades-old rules that required them to get an expert assessment and a court's authorization. News and analysis at townhall.com. Another conservative transgender bill passes, this time in the upper Midwest.
North Dakota Republican Governor Doug Burgum has signed a bill that prohibits public schools and government entities from requiring teachers and employees to refer to people by anything other than the gender they were born with. It's effective immediately. The new law also requires teachers to tell a parent or legal guardian if the student identifies as transgender, and it prohibits students from using the bathroom of their choice without parental approval. Keith Peters reporting.
Authorities are searching for two inmates, one accused of killing 4 people, who were gone from a Philadelphia prison for almost 19 hours before officials even knew they were missing. Prison officials say the inmates cut a hole in a fence surrounding a recreation yard at the Philadelphia Industrial Correctional Center on Sunday evening. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
Pansies, poppies, and daffodils aren't the only spring things popping up all over West Tennessee. Beautiful deals on new 2023 Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are blooming right now at Gene Langley Ford in Humboldt. Hi, this is Sarah Beth Langley. Come by our lot at 3500 Easton Drive in Humboldt or visit us online at GeneLangleyFord.com. You'll see our personalized service, guaranteed financing, and lifetime powertrain warranty make buying your new Ford a bright and sunny experience. Or customize your new Ford car, truck, or SUV and apply for financing online at GeneLangleyFord.com, and when it arrives, we'll deliver it right to your driveway. In the market for a pre-owned vehicle, we have a huge selection on all makes and models, updated daily at GeneLangleyFord.com. And as everyone knows, if you ever have any service needs, our service department is known area-wide as the best in the business. Regardless of your make or model, we'll get you back on the road in no time. Whether it's a new Ford, a used vehicle, or service, you really should try Gene Langley Ford before you buy. The dealership service bill.
See dealer for warranty details.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside
each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
Take us with you wherever you go. Download our free apps for Apple and Android. Visit newstalkwtn.com. Then click to download.
Good Tuesday morning. Our music is out again. I don't know what's going on. I know we did some changes over the weekend, but for some reason, some of it is just not quite working right. We'll get there, though. We will totally get there. So how was your manic Monday? You know, they've been calling for rain like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today. So 5 days saying that we're going to have all this rain. And we haven't really had it. It is bright and sunny outside this Tuesday morning. It is 65 degrees with a high of 83, and I am here for it. I am ready for those summer days. I'm enjoying the longer light time that we're having during the day. So I'm down for it. Super down for it. Last night we went to the Reagan dinner, the Ronald Reagan dinner, which is put on by the Madison County Republicans. And they had Marsha Blackburn there to speak at the Grant Center at Union. And it was good. It was real good. Marsha was very nice. I was actually kind of surprised by her. I guess maybe I just wasn't as educated on her as I should have been. But she walked in, and this girl had on some killer 6-inch heels that just screamed America. They were like a blue and red and white, and they were kind of shiny, and you could tell they were stars. And I was like, all right, girl, get it. But she did. She spoke, and she talked about 2024 is going to be a year of a fight. And that if you are not happy with how everything's going, don't think there's many of us that are just very happy of how things are going. We've got record high inflation. We've got the meeting going on right now about raising the debt ceiling because we're going to default on our deficit. We got a lot going on. She was talking about how this is going to be one of those times that people are going to have to answer the call and, fight for our America. She was good. There was also a man there. I think his name was Steve Golden or Scott Golden. Now I need to look back, but he was great too. He could kind of get a room lit up, light a little fire. You know the drill. CWA phone line 731-265-6496. Or text us at the Advanced Rehab text line 731-800-8398. This just came in on our Advanced Rehab text line and said, super hot girlfriend here. Good morning, Julie. America. Let me tell you something, super hot girlfriend. Those shoes screamed America. And I even watched her walking on the stage. I was like, is she going to be able to really walk in those and go up the steps? Flawless. It did not bother her at all. This came in on our Advanced Rehab text line and said, I want those shoes. You do. You do want those shoes. They were awesome. I was like, all right, girl. But she did. There was a lot of good things that were said. Brad Greer spoke and kind of gave us an update of what was going on in Madison County. He talked about how the Republicans have the majority on city council at this point, on county commission, and that their next thing to look at, and even Mr. Golden went with this, was our school board, wanting to see if we could get a Republican majority on the school board. So there was a lot talked about, a whole lot. This came in on our Advanced Rehab text line and said, G-Unit here. Shout out to my super hot girlfriend because she cooks at 4:30 a.m. She is the best. Look, G-Unit, that's a good woman. If Chris Holt wanted me to cook at 4:30 a.m., my cooking would consist of just getting him like a bag of muffins for the kids. That's the most I'm going to do. No. 4:30 in the morning. Whew. That's terrible. That's just getting into the good REM sleep. I can't do it. Cannot do it. Last night after the Reagan dinner, we got home and I got a phone call from a friend and babies were trying to lay down and go to sleep. So I decided to walk outside to my car. And my car right now is parked outside of the garage because our garage is packed with kids' toys, scooters, bicycles, 12-volt ride-ons, golf cart. I mean, everything a kid can imagine. It's in my garage right now. Anyway, so I go out to my car because I'm going to get in my car to talk to my friend. And I open the door. And when I open the door, all of a sudden this 3-foot black thing falls from my car and just lands on my feet. And I mean, there's some weight to it. And obviously I lose it. I start jumping and screaming and hollering because I thought it was a snake. It looked just like a black snake. I even put a picture on my Facebook of it because I know nobody's going to believe me unless they saw it. But I mean, when I tell you my soul left my body, came back, left again, and then came back, shouted some explicitives, and then came back. I mean, I'm not lying. Like, it was a show. If anybody saw it in my neighborhood last night, I was fine. It was actually where one of my twins, Jax, decided to yank the stripping off of the door. And I had pushed it back on thinking it was fine, but there was a hole that went around another piece to keep it there, and he ripped the thing in half, so now there's no hole, so it just falls out. But I did. I thought I was a goner. I thought it was a snake. I don't do good with snakes. I don't want any snakes. I don't want to be around a snake. None of that. I cannot stand a snake. And I'm seeing people start posting like, be careful, it's their time of year. I saw somebody on Facebook post the other day, look around your kids' toys because it's that time of year. And it was a little girl's tricycle, and right underneath it was a big old snake coiled up. Ugh. I cannot deal with the snakes. Oddly enough, this just came in on the Advanced Rehab text line, 731-800-8398. And it said, but did you pee yourself? No, I did not pee myself. I guess I had already used the bathroom and was fine. But had I not, I would have peed all over myself. All over myself. I was convinced, the way it looked, I was convinced it was a snake. I'm surprised my husband didn't hear me inside the house losing my mind. Because, I mean, I was right outside. Which I'm glad he didn't, because if he did, then the babies did, then they wouldn't go to sleep, and it's that whole domino effect. We did. There's a guy, his name is Jonathan. He lives in Henderson. And we had a house on the market. And I sent a contractor over to do a repair in the attic. And that contractor, who's a good friend of mine, calls me and he's like, Julie, we got a problem. And I'm like, oh, what is it? Thinking, the repair's more than we thought it was going to be. He was like, I can smell a snake in this attic. I had never heard of, I said, smell a snake. His name's Dustin. He's been on here. I was like, Dustin, what are you talking about? He's like, no, man, I smell this snake in the attic. And I'm like, snakes don't have smells. He was like, yes, they do. Once you know that smell, you'll never forget it. And I was like, whatever. And then he's like, oh my God, I just found like a 5-foot skin in here. And I was like, we got to get this thing out. We have to get it out. So I got on Facebook, you know, the world of everything good, and put something on there about needing to get rid of a critter. And this guy, Jonathan, kept getting referred to me and referred to me and referred to me. So I called him and I was like, hey, you know, I'm a realtor. I have this house listed. They're telling me there's a snake in there and they can smell it. And he was like, oh yeah. He was like, but it's hard to find snakes because they like to live in insulation. They like to travel from the walls. You know, they'll come in from the bottom of the house and go up your walls. And I'm just like, ugh, you know, I can't handle that. He was like, it may take me a little while, but I'll find it. I've got this infrared light and all these things, and we're going to find this snake. And I was like, okay, man, do your thing. And not maybe 20 minutes after him being there, I get this video. And when I tell you, it is the biggest, angriest Makaconda water rattler that you have ever seen. I'm not lying. It was, I really do believe it was a Makaconda water rattler. That thing was pissed. But he did. He grabbed that thing by his hands, was talking to it, treating it like a lady. I was like, you are wild, my friend. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I'd have had to burn down the whole house. This came in on our advanced rehab text line. It said, oh, yes, they do have a smell. This also came in on our advanced rehab text line. It says, Johnny has a big stick of dynamite. LOL. Absolutely. I did not step foot back in that house. I wasn't going to. I could pay somebody to go in there and inspect everything. I was not going back in that house with that Makaconda water rattler. No. And, I'm like, you think they had babies in there? And he was like, no, wrong time of the year. It was just. This came in on the advanced rehab text line, and it said, was it a constrictor or a viper? It was a Makaconda water rattler viper. It was. And it was angry. It did not like being bothered. But I mean, that guy, he just acted like it was nothing. And then so we ended up becoming friends on Facebook. And I mean, he does all kinds of stuff. He gets like some bobcats, animals, big old snakes, all kinds of crap. He is wild. I thought Steve Irwin was wild. No, Jonathan. Jonathan is wild. I'm actually going to look up right now his name so I can share it, because if you ever have something you need to get removed that is a water rattler Makaconda viper, I got the guy you need to call. His name is Jonathan Sparks. He is in Henderson, and he is the bomb. He can catch anything. This just came in on our advanced rehab text line. It said, whatever, I hope it didn't lay eggs. Just say, swear. I asked him, I said, you think? And he was like, no, wrong time of year for that. Ugh. But he owns Sparks Wildlife Management, and he is awesome. He's got a lot more kahunas than me, because he'd just be touching those animals and grabbing them up. I'm like, they can kill you. They can kill you, dude. He's like, oh no, I got this. I'm like, you are wild. Ugh. One time I was showing a house, and then it wasn't an animal that we found. We went in a room, and there was a collection of fake teeth laid out on the counter. That was another interesting time. Real estate has some curveballs you don't always expect that are pretty interesting. Like, how about a septic tank that's just a pipe going into the field and no actual tank? I've seen that. That was interesting. I think that's the worst animal one that I have, though. Well, no, I did help with a house where a woman had been locked up. Well, not locked up. She had passed away, and nobody had checked on her for about 2 to 3 weeks. And she was a hoarder of animals, and her animals ate her, then they died. That one was bad. That one was real bad. Whew, that one was bad. There's a smell like that. You just, ooh. I wasn't sure I could handle it. It was tough, but we handled it. We got the situation cleaned up and the house redone and things were better. But, ooh, good Lord. That one was tough. That's why we need to make sure we check on people. Our neighbors and stuff like that. Nobody deserves to go out that way at all. It's just tough.